Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Monday, the 4th of December. The hearing into the engineer whose company designed the CTV building has begun 12 years on from its collapse. 115 people died after it pancaked in the 2011 Christchurch earthquake. A Royal Commission of Inquiry identified multiple design flaws and found the engineer who did the work, a member of Alan Ray's team, was working unsupervised and beyond his competence. Blake Benny reports.
The 82-year-old Ray strongly denies the complaint's allegations. The Engineering New Zealand hearing's taken an unplanned break after a committee representative was reading a report summary rather than the full document. Ray's legal team questioned whether it stuck to the report scope and its potential to be prejudicial.
New Zealand's received a dishonour from climate activists at the UN's COP28 summit. Members of the Climate Action Network vote for countries that have done their best to block progress in climate negotiations, awarding them the Fossil of the Day award. The government's copped it for announcing plans to reopen offshore oil and gas exploration. Greenpeace Aotearoa's Amanda Larson says the backwards move is disappointing.
New Zealand has a reputation globally for being world leading on a lot of things, for being clean and green.
A busy second week lies ahead for the new government as Parliament gears for reopening. The National-led coalition is already underway with its 49-point 100-day plan. Prime Minister Chris Luxon says last week was a good week and they're focused on marching forward on more points between now and Christmas.
It includes things like you're repealing the RMA Act, for example, that's been recently passed. It includes things like unwinding fair pay awards, which we don't think are fair or not good for New Zealand's workplace environment.
Police are reassuring the public after a second tranche of threatening emails to various organisations across New Zealand. They've been sent to places including houses of worship and hospitals. Making renewable energy projects a reality is one of the government's priorities for the first 6 months. Work on the Lake Onslow Hydro project has been ditched, with Chris Luxon labelling it a waste of money. He wants to bring the consenting time for renewable energy projects down to 1 year. Luxon says that will require changes to RMA legislation.
There's a lot of projects across New Zealand that are just blocked up, held up because of RMA consenting. So we've got to repeal that before Christmas.
An oncologist says cigarettes are a scourge on society and kill half their users. Leader of the House, Chris Bishop, has told TVNZ's Q&A there's no evidence smoke-free laws, which the government will repeal, save lives. But Otago University Professor Chris Jackson says it's an absolute no-brainer. Tobacco availability must be reduced.
Every single health expert I've spoken to thinks the same, and that is smoke-free laws, and fewer cancers and fewer deaths.
4 people have been killed in a stabbing in Queens, New York, including 2 children. 2 police officers and another person were also injured before the suspect was fatally shot by one of the injured officers. To sport, veteran A-League player and administrator Terry McFlynn has been appointed Director of Football for the new Auckland franchise. World Golf number 1 Scotty Scheffler has secured a 3-shot victory at the Tiger Woods-hosted Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. And England's one-day cricket misery has continued off the back of a disastrous World Cup, suffering a 4-wicket loss to the West Indies, despite posting 325 in the first ODI in Antigua. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.